Deep in a valley, hidden from the modern world, lies the village of Hollowmere. It is a place that maps have forgotten and travellers never find by accident. A thick, pearly mist clings to the ground here, curling around the bases of ancient trees and muffling all sound. This fog is not ordinary weather. It is a magical blanket, woven with old enchantments to keep the village safe and secret. It moves like a living thing, parting just enough to reveal a cobblestone path or the dark outline of a gabled roof before closing in again, swallowing the view in a soft, quiet embrace. Hollowmere exists in a perpetual twilight, a world bathed in deep greens and shimmering blues, where time seems to flow as slowly as the gentle river that winds through its heart. The air in Hollowmere smells of damp earth, wet stone, and the sweet scent of wood smoke from unseen chimneys. The silence here is profound, broken only by the distant caw of a crow or the rustle of leaves in the unseen canopy of the forest that looms at its edge. This is the Gloomwood, a forest so dark and dense that even the mist hesitates to enter its depths. The villagers, few as they are, move through the streets like ghosts, their faces kind but their eyes holding a deep shared knowledge. They do not speak much, for words are not always needed in a place so steeped in feeling and quiet understanding. They know the mist is their guardian, a gentle protector that shields them from a world that has forgotten the importance of magic. Beneath a sliver of a crescent moon, which hangs like a silver charm in the sky, the village seems to breathe. The mist swirls and eddies, carrying with it whispers of forgotten spells and ancient lullabies. The houses are built from dark, sturdy timber and grey stone, their windows glowing with the warm amber light of candles and hearth fires. These lights are like friendly beacons in the soft gloom, promising warmth and safety within their walls. There is a feeling of immense age here, as if the village itself grew from the soil alongside the ancient oaks and yews of the forest. Every stone in the street and every beam in the houses seems to hold a memory, a piece of a story that stretches back for centuries. The quietness of Hollowmere is not empty. It is full of a potent, waiting energy. It is the quiet of a library filled with unread books, or a theatre just before the curtain rises. The magic here is as natural as the air itself, a gentle but powerful force that permeates everything. It strengthens the stones, nourishes the roots of the trees, and settles in the hearts of the people who call this hidden place home. The village feels protected, not by high walls or armed guards, but by something far older and more mysterious. It is a sanctuary, a last bastion of an old way of life, holding its breath as it waits for a story to continue, a secret that has been kept for a very long time. At the very edge of Hollowmere, where the cobblestones give way to a dirt path that vanishes into the Gloomwood, stands a lonely cottage. It is a crooked, charming little place, looking as if it had sighed and settled into the earth long ago. Its roof sags gently in the middle, covered in a thick velvety carpet of dark green moss that thrives in the perpetual dampness of the mist. The chimney, built of mismatched river stones, leans at a slight angle, puffing a thin ribbon of fragrant grey smoke into the still air. This is not a house that was built with straight lines and perfect angles. It was shaped by time, weather, and the gentle magic that seeps from the surrounding forest and the ground beneath it. The walls of the cottage are made of ancient weathered stones, each one a different shade of grey, green and brown. Moss and tiny, resilient ferns grow in the crevices between them, softening their hard edges. On the front porch, bundles of herbs hang from the low eaves, drying in the cool air. There are sprigs of rosemary for remembrance, lavender for peace, and mugwort for protection, their faint, earthy scents mixing with the smell of wood smoke and damp soil. The door is made of thick, dark wood, and carved into its frame are faint, swirling runes, ancient symbols of safeguarding and welcome that glow with a faint, almost imperceptible light when the moon is high. They are a silent declaration that this is a place of old power. In one of the cottage's small, mullioned windows, a single lantern burns with a steady amber glow. This light is a warm, inviting beacon against the deep blues and greens of the encroaching twilight. It cuts through the thickest fog, a small golden promise of warmth and kindness within. The light seems to have a life of its own, flickering gently, as if in time with a slow, sleeping heartbeat. It makes the dewdrops on the nearby spiderwebs sparkle like tiny diamonds and casts long, dancing shadows that play upon the misty ground. For anyone lost in the gloom, this single point of light would be a symbol of hope, a guide leading them out of the darkness and towards safety. The cottage is surrounded by a low, wobbly fence made of weathered grey wood. Perched atop its posts, like solemn black-robed judges, sit 3 crows. They are unnaturally still, their glossy feathers absorbing the dim light. Their heads turn in unison, their intelligent black eyes watching everything that moves and everything that does not. They are not ordinary birds, they are sentinels, the guardians of the cottage and its inhabitant. They are as much a part of the scene as the moss on the roof and the runes on the door, silent witnesses to the quiet, magical life that unfolds within the crooked walls of the little house at the edge of the gloomwood. Inside the crooked cottage, by the gentle amber light of the lantern, lives Malin. She is an old woman, with a face as lined and lovely as a piece of ancient wood, every wrinkle telling a story of seasons past and secrets kept. Her hair is the colour of spun silver, braided into a long, thick plait that falls over her shoulder. She moves with a slow, deliberate grace, her hands gnarled by age but still steady and sure. Her eyes are the most remarkable thing about her. They are the colour of the deep forest, a dark and knowing green, and they sparkle with a kindness that seems as ancient as the stars. When she looks at you, you feel as though she is seeing not just who you are, but all the people you have ever been. Malin is always wrapped in a cloak of deep forest green, the fabric so dark it is almost black in the shadows. It is fastened at her throat with a simple silver clasp shaped like a curling fern. The cloak seems to be a part of her, its folds smelling faintly of pine needles, dried herbs, and old parchment. Wherever she goes, she carries a staff made from the gnarled branch of a yew tree, its wood polished smooth by the touch of her hands over countless years. The staff is not just a walking stick, it is a conduit for her power, a silent partner in her connection to the old magic that flows through Hollowmere like an underground river. It feels warm to the touch, humming with a quiet, dormant energy. Her kindness is as tangible as the warmth from her hearth fire. It is in the gentle way she tends to the herbs in her garden, whispering to them as they grow. It is in the soft smile she gives to the crows on her fence, who seem to understand her every thought. Malin is the heart of Hollowmere, the keeper of its wisdom and the guardian of its peace. The villagers come to her not with grand problems, but with the small, quiet troubles of life, a child's fever, a lost lamb, a heart heavy with sorrow. She offers them herbal remedies, quiet words of comfort, and the profound sense of peace that radiates from her very being. She is a healer, a counsellor, and a living link to the magic that the outside world has dismissed as folklore. Malin's connection to the old magic is absolute. It is in her blood and in her bones. She reads the future in the swirl of the mist, understands the language of the wind, and feels the turning of the seasons deep within her soul. Her cottage is filled with the tools of her craft, well-loved books of lore with crumbling pages, bowls of polished stones, and charts of the moon and stars. Yet her greatest power comes not from these things, but from her deep, unwavering connection to the land itself. She is as much a part of Hollowmere as the ancient stones and the whispering fog, a timeless figure of wisdom and grace standing sentinel at the edge of the great dark woods. The village of Hollowmere, with its swirling mists and quiet, watchful residents, hums with a quiet tension. It is not a feeling of danger, but rather one of profound importance, as if the entire valley is holding its breath. The eerie beauty of the place, bathed in the soft glow of the crescent moon and the amber lights from the cottage windows, creates a sense of mysticism that hangs in the air. Every shadow seems to hold a shape, and every whisper of wind through the trees sounds like a forgotten word. The magic here is not loud or flashy. It is a deep, resonant chord that vibrates just beneath the surface of things, felt more than it is seen. This feeling is strongest around Malin and her crooked cottage. Her presence anchors the magic of the village, giving it focus and purpose. The crows on her fence are more than just birds. They are her eyes and ears, extensions of her ancient consciousness. The herbs hanging on her porch are not just plants. They are potent charms, woven with spells of protection and peace. Even the stones of her home seem to exude a protective aura, a silent warning to any who might bring harm to this sacred place. Her quiet existence is a testament to a power that does not need to announce itself, a magic that is content to work in silence, guarding the boundary between the known world and the deep mysteries of the Gloomwood. The people of Hollowmere are part of this silent watch. They understand their role as custodians of this place, their quiet lives a continuous act of preservation. They move through their days with a shared, unspoken purpose, their actions guided by traditions passed down through generations. They are the keepers of the gate, living their lives around a central secret that they protect with their silence. The world outside has rushed forward, embracing technology and forgetting the old ways. But here in Hollowmere, time has stood still to protect something precious. The village and its inhabitants are a living memory of a time when the world was filled with wonder. Ultimately, it becomes clear that Malin and the village of Hollowmere do not just exist. They guard something. They are the keepers of a forgotten secret, a piece of magic or knowledge so profound that it had to be hidden away from the world, veiled in mist and protected by silence. What that secret is remains a mystery, locked away behind Malin's kind, ancient eyes and buried deep beneath the mossy stones of the village. But its presence is undeniable, a powerful, sleeping magic waiting for the day it is needed once more. Hollowmere is not just a village. It is a promise, a sanctuary for a secret the world has long since forgotten it lost.